Stan Smith here from Pushing Social, and today I wanted to follow up on a blog post that I wrote just this week. And in that blog post, I went over some tools for the insanely busy blogger, some productivity tools and content curation and creation tools that I use on a regular basis to run Pushing Social and to continue to publish and distribute content. So, one of those tools was Trello. And I've had a lot of people who have signed up for Trello and they're really interested in how I use it. Specifically, how I use it is to kind of keep track of my blog post ideas. So I wanted to show you how to set up your Trello account. And I believe Trello is free. So you can go ahead and set this up and start using this today. But I'm going to show you how I set up a blog post ideas board and keep track of my ideas with Trello. So let's jump in and look at Trello. And what you're seeing here is my account. And this is the initial view that you're going to get when you sign into your Trello account. So all we need to do here is go to this little plus icon here, click that, and it's going to ask me if I wanted to add a new board or a new organization. So in this case, I'm going to add a new board. And I'm going to name that board Blog Ideas. Okay. Blog post ideas to make it more specific. And I'm going to do a little trick here, which is putting a exclamation point in front of this title, because what that does is that when Trello lists your boards out, it lists them in alphabetical order. So boards I'm going to be going to on a regular basis, I go ahead and I put that exclamation point in front of it, so I will see that first in my list. So that's just a little tip for you. Hit create. And you're going to be given a standard kind of template for your board. So Trello has a to-do, doing, and then done board. So what I like to do is go in here and I'm going to rename this board here to ideas. So these are all the ideas that I have. I'm just going to pop into Trello, hit add a card, and add my blog post idea, right? So I will just continue to do that. Whenever I have a new idea, I'll pop into here and place the idea. Okay, so the second thing is I'm going to name this to draft. So I like to keep track of the ideas that are actually being researched or I'm writing. Okay, so that is where I would put those. And then for here, I'm just going to rename this card, and I'm just doing that by clicking on the name. I'm going to name this one published. Okay. So that is the three boards that you're going to want to have, or the three cards you want to have within this blog post ideas board. And you can hit this little star here, and that also will make sure that that board is pulled up whenever you're looking at all of your boards. Now let's go back here and I'm going to show you something. So let's say I have a couple of ideas here. So I'm just going to put in blog post ideas number 2 here, and blog post ideas number 3. All right, so these are some of the ideas I have. Now, when I put an idea in, one thing that I like to do is just click on the board and write something that will keep me informed, or remind me, I should say, about what that idea was about. So let's say this blog post idea is number 3. It's going to be a 7-point checklist on repurposing content, for example. All right, so I'll just go ahead and add that to the description of the card here, so I am sure what this is about. And I will go one step further and go over to actions here, and I will hit add checklist, and I would just say name that 7-point checklist. And while the idea is fresh in my mind, I will go in and add each of the points. So this can be point number 1, point number 2, and all the way down to point number 7, right? So when I come back to this card and I look under blog post ideas number 3, I have a little title here of what I was intending to do in the beginnings of that post. So I'm not spending a lot of time trying to figure out what was I intending to do there, and what it was my idea. I have it right here in the card. So I'm just going to close that, and there you can see here there's a kind of a faint icon here showing that you have a checklist here and you have 3 things on those checklists. So that's the way I kind of keep myself informed about what I'm going to write. And then when I'm begin the writing process, so when I've opened up a document and I'm starting to write that particular post and I'm intending to publish it, I move it over to the draft area. Okay, and the reason why I have this little draft board is a lot of times I will start a post and I will forget that I've started it. So a week later, I'll come back and I'll come up with an entirely new post idea or pull another post down from my editorial calendar and I will start on it, not realizing that I actually have a post in draft. Now, some people like to put their post drafts within WordPress. I don't like doing that because I just had too many occasions where I've accidentally hit the publish button and I've published a half written post. So I like to keep my blog posts out of WordPress until they're ready to be published. So this is what I do for that. I just move this card over to draft. And then, of course, when it's done, I'll put it over to published. And over time, I like keeping all these cards in published. I don't erase them because I like going back and seeing what are the most recent ideas that I've written or the most recent posts that I've written. So I can see over time, am I kind of focusing just on one thing and I need to change things up a bit? It just gives me a nice 30,000 point, 30,000 foot view of my previous posts. So that is how I use Trello, and it's very easy now. You can get into Trello and you can use a lot of its advanced features and you can really geek out on all the good things that it does for you. But this is just one of the ways that I use Trello in my day-to-day workflow to keep me on track with my blog post ideas and keep me moving forward. So I hope you found that helpful. Keep watching this space because I'm going to be doing more of these impromptu videos for you on some of the tactics and techniques and strategies that I use from day to day.